Thank you very much. Let us move to the next slide, please. Yes, now, this is the things, some of the things that we are going to touch through. The archival value, data privacy, data protection, knowledge extraction, and legal compliance. As you can see, all these are all interrelated in one way or the other. There is no way you can use data privacy without data protection, and there's no way you can extract knowledge without those two. And most importantly, legal compliance comes in. Next slide, please. Now, what is the fair data point, and why is it important for archival? Now, the fair data point provides a significant archival value by serving as a metadata repository or registry for those who works in registry that implements or aligns with the FAIR principles. It enhances long-term discoverability, accessibility, and provenance of scientific and institutional data through robust metadata infrastructure. Now, its archival importance stems from several key features. Next slide, please. Now, we have key archival fair data points, like persistent metadata preservation. Here, we use persistent URLs, like, for example, we use pal.org, which ensures that metadata links remain resolvable even if underlying systems change. Then we have standardized formats such as RDF and DCAT, which promote long-term machine readability and semantic interoperability. We also have vision control, which through the back end. For example, we can use Blazor Graph for those who have worked in fair data point, which enables tracking and restoration of historical metadata states. Now, we also have technical archival features like decoupled architecture or design. Now, metadata and data storage are managed independently, minimizing risks of total system failure. Now, as shown in the Docker Compose, where when you are installing Fair Data Point, there is a Docker Compose setup. The components can be upgraded independently. And then lastly, we have standardized access, where the HTTPS enforcement guarantees encrypted access. Next slide, please. Okay, we have use case examples here. For example, research data repositories, where a university deploys FDP, that is Fair Data Point, to catalog all research data sets from different departments. Now, even if storage systems change, the metadata remains accessible through persistent URLs. An example I've used here in the quote is, you see, HTTPS, I've used Fair Data Point, and then I've used Kima University, for example, or even Tangaza University. And these ones always resolve to the latest metadata. Latest. Next slide, please. We have National Archives integration. Now, National Archives use FDP as a unified interface for distributed digital collection. Now, different institutions maintain their own storage while metadata is aggregated through fair data points. Then we have, let's go to the next slide. We have longitudinal and historical studies where a multi-decade climate project uses fair data point to document evolving data collection methods and tools. And also, Future researchers can understand data provenance and context, even as technologies evolve. Next slide, please. Yes, this is a very important part. Warning and security consideration. Now, the archival integrity requires proper configuration. Privacy controls, in which case we may be required to disable public endpoints in ping features if privacy is needed. Then we will also need to secure databases, uh, properly configure and secure, like for example, MongoDB to prevent data breaches. And also we have TLS management where regular certificate renewal for NINX proxy for secure access is required. Next slide, please. Yes. Now, many organizations are struggling with balancing data privacy and knowledge extraction. Now, balancing data privacy with knowledge extraction is a growing concern for organizations, especially here in Kenya. Now, especially as they increasingly, this organization, as they increasingly rely on data analytics to inform decision making, drive innovation, and maybe improve service delivery, most of them must manage the tension between leveraging personal data for insight and ensuring compliance with privacy regulations such as Data Protection Act 2019 that applies here in Kenya. Uh, let's go to the next slide. Go back. Sorry, go back. Yes, there. Now, the data privacy protects individuals' personal information from unauthorized access, while knowledge extractions involve analyzing data to uncover patterns and actionable insights. Now, balancing the two requires ethical, legal, and technological frameworks that respect user rights while supporting organizational intelligence. Let's take a look at legal compliance with Data Protection Act. Now, Kenya's Data Protection Act 2019 is modeled, with the on the EU's this is European Union GDPR, and provides a legal framework that organizations must follow when collecting and processing data. A good example is here in Kenya we have some lines that phone lines like Safaricom and Airtel. There's another one called Orange. I don't know which one you guys use in your countries. Now, these companies, they use customer data to improve network performance and develop targeted products like Airtel Money or M-Pesa Overdraft. This here we call Fuliza. However, under DPA, they must obtain consent before analyzing individual transaction history. This one ensures lawful processing of personal data. What is the balance achieved here? Now, by anonymizing data and using aggregated insights, Safaricom and Airtel extracts value without exposing individuals' identity. Now, let's take a look at anonymization, especially in health sectors. And those in health sectors will agree with me that healthcare organizations such as Amref Health Africa, they collect sensitive personal data for public health research and intervention. During COVID-19, this is the COVID era, they deployed data analytics to track vaccination rates across countries. Now, personal identifiers were de-identified before analysis to prevent patient tracing. The balance here is that insights were shared with policymakers for equitable vaccine distribution, while individual privacy remained protected. Let's look at use of pseudonymization in academic institutions. Now, universities like Tangaza University, Ekima University, but more to be precise, University of Nairobi, it manages large data sets from students for research and academic planning. Now, The Center for Data Analytics at UN, for example, uses pseudonymized student data to study dropout patterns and predict performance. This helps in supporting early interventions without revealing individual students' identities. The balance reached here is that knowledge extraction supports institutional efficiency while adhering to ethical standards. Let's look at consent management in the fintech sectors. Fintech sectors, these are sectors that actually give loans. Like in Kenya here, we have Branch and Tala. These people use advanced analytics to determine credit worthiness. These firms request user consent before accessing phone metadata. That is SMS and call logs. And at some point, they offer transparent privacy policies outlining data use. Now, the balance here is that consumers are empowered to control their data, while firms use aggregated behavioral data for risk scoring algorithms. Now, the last one is public institutions and open data platforms. In this case, the Kenya National Bureau of Standards, for example, it provides open datasets to support research and policy making. Now, in the 2019, there was census, and data was aggregated by sub-county and anonymized before public release. Researchers and developers use this data to map service needs and demographic trends. Knowledge is extracted at macro levels while preserving individual privacy. Next slide, please. Now, we have data privacy and data protection. How can we understand the distinction and its importance? Now, in the modern digital landscape, data privacy and data protection are frequently used interchangeably, yet they address fundamentally different challenges. While both are vital to safeguarding sensitive information, especially in contexts involving personal identifiable information, or even personal health information, their functions, scopes, and responsibility differ significantly. Now, recognizing and operationalizing this distinction is essential for compliance, risk mitigation, and trust building in both public and private sectors. Yes. Now, to state clear, data privacy refers to who is authorized to access data, under what condition. It's concerned with user rights, informed consent, data minimization, and transparency. Now, we have data protection, which involves the tools, processes, and technologies that enforce privacy decision by preventing unauthorized access, modification, or destruction of data. A good example could be a hospital that must respect patients' privacy preferences, not sharing data without consent. Now, why the distinction matter is that without data privacy, users lose control over their information. Now, without data protection, even strong privacy policies are meaningless because technical weakness can expose data to breaches, leaks, or misuse. What is the analogy here? Think of privacy as the rules of the house, and then protection as the locks on the doors and windows. Both are needed to secure what is where? Inside. Let's look at the next slide, please. Yes.
Philip, we're already 5 minutes over time.
Okay, let me finish. Yes, this is the last, the second last actually. Now, in regions like Middle East and North Africa, that is what MENA means. Privacy is often compromised under national security pretext. For instance, now during COVID-19 pandemic, tracing apps in Tunisia and Qatar were criticized for inadequate data safeguards, enabling mass surveillance with legal oversight. Let's go to the next slide. Interdependence. Now, privacy without protection. Now, A company that allows users to opt out of tracing but fails to secure its servers can still leak sensitive data. On the other hand, protection without privacy, where a highly secure system that collects excessive data without consent still violates ethical and legal standards. Now, privacy defines the rules, where and protection enforces them. The next slide, please. Um, let's go to the conclusion actually. After yes, now now by combining persistent identifiers, semantic metadata, and resilient modular infrastructure, the fair data point plays a critical role in digital preservation, research transparency, and long-term accessibility. It is a foundational tool for institutions committed to the stewardship of research data in a sustainable and standard compliant manner. I think that's it. Is there another slide? Oh, yes. Thank you.